Real thoughts hidden. He's the groom's older brother, the one who's been carrying the weight of family expectations since he was a kid. But when he sees Lily's smile, it's like the noise of the wedding fades away, and for the first time all night, he feels like he can breathe. He doesn't know why her smile hits him so hard. Maybe it's the way it's so unassuming, so real in a room full of practiced poses. Or maybe it's something deeper, something tied to the secret he's been carrying all day, something he hasn't told anyone, not even his brother. You're probably wondering what that secret is, right? Is it about Lily? The bride? The groom? All I'll say for now is that it's big, and it's going to make you see this whole wedding in a whole new light. But to get there, you've got to trust me and keep watching, because I'm not spilling the beans just yet. Here's the deal. I know you're busy. Life's hectic, work, school, family, maybe even planning your own wedding or swiping through dating apps, hoping for your own love story. But I'm asking you to give me a little of your time, because this story isn't just about Lily and Ethan, it's about you too. It's about those moments when life surprises you, when you realize the things you've been overlooking might just be the things that change everything. I'm going to keep it real with you. This video isn't just a fluffy romance. There's a twist coming, something that'll make you gasp and maybe even rewatch this whole thing to catch the clues I'm dropping. And I'm not going to let you down. I'm crafting this story to keep you on the edge of your seat, rooting for Lily, wondering about Ethan, and piecing together the puzzle of what's really going on at this wedding. So, let's make a pact, you and me. You stick with this video until the end, and I promise you'll get the answers you're craving. You'll find out why Ethan couldn't take his eyes off Lily, what he's hiding, and how one moment at a wedding can unravel secrets that nobody saw coming. Sound good? I thought so. Now, let's fast forward to the moment when Ethan finally makes his move. He's walking toward Lily, his heart pounding, her smile pulling him like a magnet. He's about to say something. Something that could change both their lives forever. But what is it? And why does it feel like the whole room is holding its breath, waiting for what happens next? As Ethan weaves through the crowd, his steps deliberate but hesitant, the wedding reception hums with a life of its own, a chaotic symphony of joy and anticipation that seems to pulse in time with his racing heart. Lily's still standing by the dessert table, her fingers nervously tracing the rim of her untouched glass of sparkling cider, completely unaware that her quiet moment is about to be interrupted by a man whose own world is teetering on the edge of a secret he's not sure he can keep. The fairy lights strung across the venue cast a golden glow over her, catching the soft waves of her auburn hair, and for a split second, Ethan wonders if he's making a mistake. Should he just turn back, blend into the crowd, and let this moment pass? But that smile of hers, unassuming, warm, like a lighthouse in a storm, keeps pulling him forward. You're probably sitting there, wondering what's got Ethan so rattled, why a simple walk across a room feels like he's crossing a minefield. I get it, because I'm right there with you, itching to know what's driving him, what's hiding behind those guarded blue eyes of his. This isn't just about a guy noticing a pretty girl at a wedding. It's about what happens when two people, carrying their own hidden scars, collide in a moment that could rewrite their futures. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around, because the layers of this story are about to peel back, revealing a web of secrets, unspoken dreams, and connections you didn't see coming. Let's dive deeper into this world, where every glance and every word is loaded with meaning, and where the past is never as far away as it seems. Lily's story doesn't start at this wedding, and to understand why her smile caught Ethan's attention, we need to step back and see the world through her eyes. Growing up in that same small town outside Charleston, Lily was always the girl who faded into the background. Not because she wasn't beautiful or kind, but because she chose it. Her mom used to call her the glue, the one who held everyone together. Her family, her friends, even the local book club she helped run at the library where she worked. But being the glue meant putting herself last. Always. She'd spent her 20s saying yes to everyone else's dreams. Helping her best friend, the bride, plan this very wedding, staying late to cover shifts at the library, even babysitting her sister's kids so she could chase a promotion. Lily's dreams? They were scribbled in a journal she kept hidden under her bed. Pages filled with sketches of far-off places. Paris, Santorini, maybe even a little bookstore of her own one day. But dreams like that felt like luxuries she couldn't afford, not when everyone else needed her. And yet, there was something about this wedding, something about standing in that pastel dress, watching her best friend vow forever, that stirred a quiet ache in her chest. It wasn't just about wanting love though, sure, she'd imagined what it might be like to have someone look at her the way the groom looked at the bride. It was about wanting to be seen, to have someone notice the parts of her she kept tucked away. That's what makes Ethan's gaze so disarming. When their eyes meet across the room, it's not just attraction. It's recognition, like he's seeing straight through the bridesmaid role she's playing and into the woman she's been hiding. But here's where things get tricky, because Ethan's not just any guy, and his attention comes with complications Lily can't even begin to imagine. You're probably wondering what those complications are, right? Well, let's just say Ethan's carrying a weight that ties him to this wedding in ways Lily doesn't suspect, and it's going to make their connection a lot messier than a simple love story. Now let's shift to Ethan for a moment, because his side of this tale adds a whole new layer of intrigue. At 32, Ethan's the kind of guy who's got his life together on paper. A steady job as a financial consultant in Atlanta, a sleek apartment, a reputation as the reliable son who always steps up for his family. But beneath that polished exterior, he's restless. You ever feel like you're living a life someone else scripted for you? That's Ethan. He's been the golden boy his whole life, the one who followed the rules, took care of his younger brother, the groom, and made sure their family's name stayed untarnished. But there's a shadow hanging over him. A secret he's been carrying since before the wedding invitations went out. It's not just about him. It involves his brother, the bride, and a decision he made months ago that's been eating him alive. I know you're dying to know what it is, and I promise you, it's a bombshell that'll make you see this whole wedding differently. For now, let's just say it's something Ethan thought he could bury, something he thought he could carry alone. But when he sees Lily, standing there with that unguarded smile, it's like a crack forms in the wall he's built around himself. He doesn't know her, not yet, but there's something about her that makes him want to tell the truth, to let someone in for the first time in years. And that's dangerous, because the truth could unravel not just his life, but the entire wedding. Hey there, beautiful souls. Imagine this, you're standing in a crowded room, the air buzzing with laughter, clinking glasses, and the soft hum of a love song playing in the background. Everyone's eyes are on the bride, glowing in her white dress, or the groom, charming as ever, stealing the show. But in the corner, there's someone else. Someone whose quiet smile hides a story that's about to change everything. What if I told you that one fleeting moment, one unnoticed glance, could spark a love story so unexpected, so heart-tugging, that it would leave you believing in fate all over again? Welcome to the story of She Was an Overlooked Bridesmaid, until the groom's brother noticed her smile. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to uncover a secret that will make your heart race and your jaw drop. I'm talking to you. Yes, you watching this right now, because I know you're here for a story that'll make you feel something real, something that reminds you why love, in all its messy magical glory, is worth believing in. So, grab a cozy blanket, maybe a snack, and let's dive into a tale that's going to keep you glued to the screen until the very last second. You ever been to a wedding where everything feels perfect on the surface? The flowers are just right, the cake's a towering masterpiece, and everyone's dressed to the nines, pretending they've got it all together. But if you look closer, there's always something brewing beneath the polished veneer. Whispers of old grudges, stolen glances, or secrets nobody dares say out loud. That's where our story begins, at a picture-perfect wedding in a charming little town just outside Charleston, South Carolina. The kind of place where magnolia trees line the streets, and every house looks like it's straight out of a Pinterest board. Our bridesmaid, Lily, is one of those people you might not notice at first. She's not the loud one cracking jokes or the one leading the dance floor. She's the quiet one, adjusting the bride's veil, holding her bouquet during the vows, and making sure everyone else shines. Lily's got this smile, though, a soft, genuine curve of her lips that lights up her hazel eyes in a way that makes you feel like you've known her forever. It's the kind of smile that says, I'm here, I'm present, but I'm not chasing the spotlight. And for most of the day, nobody really sees her. Not the bride, not the guests, not even the other bridesmaids, who are too busy posting selfies with hashtags like #weddingvibes and #lovewins. But there's one person who does notice her. One person whose world tilts just a little when he catches that smile across the crowded reception hall. And that person? The groom's brother, Ethan. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ooh, a wedding romance, how classic. But trust me, this isn't your typical meet cute. There's a mystery here, a twist that's going to make you rethink everything you thought you knew about love, loyalty, and second chances. I'm going to take you on a journey that'll have you laughing, maybe tearing up a little, and definitely hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss what happens next. Because, my friend, you're not just watching a story, you're living it with me. Let's talk about Lily for a second, because she's the heart of this tale, and I want you to feel like you're right there with her, feeling what she feels. Lily's 27, A small-town girl who's always been the dependable one. You know the type. Shows up early, stays late, and never asks for anything in return. She's the friend who listens when you're crying over a breakup, the one who remembers your coffee order, the one who makes sure everyone else is okay before she even thinks about herself. But here's the thing about people like Lily. They carry their own quiet battles. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you've felt invisible sometimes, like you're pouring your heart into the world, and nobody's really seeing you. Lily's got dreams tucked away in her heart, dreams of adventure, of love, of a life bigger than the small-town routine she's always known. But at this wedding, she's not thinking about any of that. She's just trying to get through the day without tripping in her heels or smudging her mascara. She's the overlooked bridesmaid, blending into the pastel sea of tulle and chiffon, until Ethan's eyes find her. And let me tell you about Ethan, he's not what you expect. He's not the brooding bad boy or the polished Prince Charming. He's the guy who's always been a little too busy for love, too caught up in his career, his responsibilities, his family's expectations. But when he sees Lily's smile, something shifts. It's like a song he didn't know he was waiting to hear. And here's where I need you to lean in close, because I'm about to let you in on a little hint. Ethan's got a secret of his own, something tied to this wedding, something that could change everything for both of them. What is it? Oh, I'm not telling you yet. You've got to stick with me to find out. Now, I know you're sitting there, maybe scrolling through YouTube, looking for something that'll make your day a little brighter, a little more exciting. You could have clicked on a million other videos. Trending makeup tutorials, viral pranks, or those satisfying ASMR clips everyone's obsessed with. But you chose this one, and I'm so glad you did, because I'm promising you right now. This story is going to hit you right in the feels. It's got all the things you love, romance, drama, a dash of mystery, and that warm, fuzzy feeling of watching two people find their way to each other against all odds. But it's more than that. It's about what happens when you stop hiding, when you let someone see the real you, flaws and all. It's about those moments in life when everything changes in a heartbeat, and you realize you're not just a side character in someone else's story. You're the star of your own. I'm talking to every single one of you watching this, whether you're curled up on your couch in New York, sipping coffee in LA, or sneaking a quick watch during your lunch break in Chicago. This story is for you, because we've all felt overlooked at some point, and we've all wondered if there's someone out there who'll see us for who we really are. So, here's my master move to keep you hooked. I'm not just telling you a story. I'm inviting you into a world where every glance, every word, every choice matters. And I'm betting you're curious enough to stay until the end to find out what happens when Ethan steps across that reception hall and says something to Lily that turns her whole world upside down. Let's set the scene a little more, because I want you to feel like you're right there at this wedding, smelling the jasmine in the air, hearing the soft clink of champagne glasses, and catching the way the fairy lights twinkle against the evening sky. The reception is in full swing, and the dance floor is packed with aunties swaying to Sweet Caroline and kids sneaking extra slices of cake. Lily's standing off to the side, holding a glass of sparkling cider she hasn't even sipped, watching her best friend, the bride, laughing with her new husband. There's a pang in Lily's chest, not jealousy, but something softer, something like longing. She's happy for her friend, but she can't help wondering if her own moment will ever come. That's when Ethan notices her. He's across the room, loosening his tie, looking just a little out of place among the polished chaos. Ethan's the kind of guy who's always been good at blending in. Charming enough to make small talk, but guarded enough to keep his. And that's dangerous, because the truth could unravel not just his life, but the entire wedding. As he takes those final steps toward her, his mind's racing with questions. Can he trust her? Does she know more than she's letting on? And why does it feel like this moment, this conversation, could be the start of something he's not sure he's ready for? Meanwhile, there's another thread weaving through this story, one that adds a whole new layer of mystery. Let's talk about Sarah, the maid of honor, who's been watching Lily all night with a sharpness that feels less like friendship and more like suspicion. Sarah's the opposite of Lily, bold, outspoken, the kind of woman who commands a room without trying. She's the bride's cousin, and she's got a history with the groom's family that nobody talks about openly. You see, Sarah and Ethan went to high school together, and there's a story there, one that's been whispered about in their small town for years. Some say they dated, others say it was something more complicated, a falling out, a betrayal, maybe even a promise broken. Whatever it was, it's left Sarah with a chip on her shoulder and a knack for noticing things others miss. She's the one who catches Ethan staring at Lily, and it sets her on edge. Why? Well, That's another piece of the puzzle you're going to have to keep watching to figure out. Sarah's not just a bystander. She's got her own agenda, her own reasons for keeping a close eye on both Ethan and Lily. And here's where things get juicy. Sarah's been texting someone all night, someone who's not at the wedding, someone who seems to know more about what's going on than they should. Who are they? What do they know? And how does it tie back to Ethan's secret? I'm dropping these hints because I know you're hooked, just like I am, and I want you to feel that itch to keep watching, to unravel this tangle of love, loyalty, and hidden truths. The wedding itself is a character in this story, a glittering stage where every detail feels like a clue. The venue's an old southern estate, all sprawling oaks and ivy-covered walls, the kind of place that screams romance but hides its own ghosts. There's a tension in the air, not just from Ethan and Lily's impending encounter, but from the undercurrents rippling through the guests. The bride's parents are barely speaking, their smiles tight as they pose for photos. The groom's best man keeps checking his phone, his face paling every time a new message comes through. Even the DJ seems to be playing songs with lyrics that feel a little too pointed, like he's in on something nobody else knows. You're probably thinking, okay, what's the deal here? Why does this wedding feel like it's one wrong move away from falling apart? And that's exactly what I want you to feel, because this story isn't just about a bridesmaid and a brother. It's about what happens when secrets collide in a place where everyone's pretending everything's perfect. Lily's about to step into a moment that could change her life, but she's got no idea what she's walking into. Ethan's got his own reasons for approaching her, reasons that go beyond her smile, reasons tied to the secret he's been carrying and the choice he's about to make. And Sarah? She's watching it all, her fingers hovering over her phone, ready to send a message that could tip the scales. As Ethan finally reaches Lily, the music slows, and the crowd seems to part just enough to give them a moment. Her eyes lift to meet his, and there's a flicker of surprise, maybe even a spark of something else. Hope, curiosity, fear? She doesn't know him, not really, but there's something about the way he's looking at her that makes her heart skip. He opens his mouth to speak, his voice low and steady, but before he can get the words out, a glass shatters somewhere in the room. The sound cuts through the moment like a knife, and every head turns, including Lily's, including Ethan's, including Sarah's. Someone gasps, someone laughs nervously, but the air feels heavier now, like the universe itself is holding its breath. What did Ethan want to say? Why did that glass break at the exact wrong moment? And what does Sarah know that's making her type furiously on her phone, her eyes darting between Lily and Ethan? You're probably feeling that itch to know more, that pull to keep watching, and I'm right there with you. This is the moment where everything starts to shift, where the threads of this story, love, secrets, betrayal, start to tangle. Stick with me, because the next part is going to make your heart race even faster, and I promise, you won't want to miss what happens when Ethan finally gets the chance to speak. The shattered glass lies in glittering pieces on the hardwood floor, a jagged little reminder that this wedding, with all its polished perfection, is teetering on the edge of chaos. Lily's eyes dart from Ethan to the source of the sound, where a flustered waiter is scrambling to clean up the mess, his apologies drowned out by the murmur of the crowd. Ethan freezes, his unspoken words hanging in the air like a melody cut short, and for a moment, the world seems to hold its breath. Lily's heart is still racing from the intensity of his gaze, that unspoken promise in his eyes that made her feel seen for the first time all night. But now, with the crowd stirring and Sarah's sharp stare burning into them from across the room, the moment feels fragile, like it could slip away or explode into something bigger. You're probably sitting there, your curiosity on fire, wondering what Ethan was about to say and why that glass had to break right then. I'm right there with you, feeling the tension, the pull of this story that's unraveling faster than we can keep up. This isn't just a wedding anymore. It's a stage where secrets are clawing their way to the surface, and every step Ethan and Lily take is pulling them closer to a truth that could change everything. Stick with me, because what happens next is going to hit you like a plot twist you never saw coming, and I promise, it's going to keep you glued to this video, desperate to know how this love story, or maybe heartbreak, plays out. Lily tries to steady her breathing, her fingers tightening around her glass as she offers Ethan a small nervous smile, hoping to recapture the moment they almost had. But Ethan's face has changed, his jaw is tight, his eyes flickering with something like fear or regret. He mutters a quick, "Sorry, I'll be right back," and before Lily can respond, he's weaving through the crowd toward the back of the venue, where the groom, his brother Caleb, is standing with a group of groomsmen. Lily's left standing there, her heart sinking, wondering if she misread the whole thing. Was it just a fleeting moment, a trick of the fairy lights and too much wedding magic? But deep down, She knows it wasn't. There was something real in Ethan's eyes, something that felt like it could unravel her carefully guarded heart. As she watches him disappear into the crowd, she doesn't notice Sarah slipping closer, her phone now tucked away, her expression unreadable but heavy with intent. Sarah's been watching this whole scene unfold, and her mind is racing with questions of her own. You see, Sarah's not just the maid of honor. She's the keeper of secrets too, and one of them is about to collide with Ethan's in a way that nobody expects. She knows something about Caleb, something she overheard months ago in a hushed conversation that wasn't meant for her ears. It's tied to Ethan's secret, and it's the reason she's been texting that mystery person all night, someone who's been feeding her information that could turn this wedding upside down. What is it? Oh, I know you're dying to find out, but I'm keeping you on the edge of your seat for a reason. This twist is going to hit you hard, and you're going to want to keep watching to see how it all connects. Meanwhile, Ethan reaches Caleb, his brother, who's laughing too loudly, his tie askew, a glass of whiskey in his hand. The groomsmen are swapping stories, but there's a tension in Caleb's posture that Ethan knows too well. It's the same look he had when they were kids and Caleb was hiding something. Ethan pulls him aside, his voice low, urgent. We need to talk. Now. Caleb's smile falters, and for a split second, you can see the brothers' shared history flash between them. Years of loyalty, fights, and unspoken promises. Ethan's secret, the one he's been carrying, isn't just his own. It's tied to Caleb, to the bride, Emily, and to a choice they made together that was supposed to stay buried. But here's where things take a turn you didn't see coming. As Ethan starts to speak, his eyes catch a figure standing just outside the venue's open doors, half hidden in the shadows of the oak trees. It's a woman, someone who wasn't on the guest list, someone whose presence sends a chill down Ethan's spine. She's watching them, her silhouette unmistakable, and Ethan knows exactly who she is. Her name is Claire, and she's the last person he expected to see tonight. Claire's connected to the secret, to the decision Ethan and Caleb made, and her being here isn't a coincidence. Is she here to confront them? To expose them? Or is she tied to Sarah's mysterious texts? You're probably feeling that jolt of surprise, that urge to lean closer to the screen, because this is the moment where the stakes skyrocket, and the love story we thought we were watching starts to feel like something much bigger, a tangled web of betrayal, regret, and hidden truths. Back at the dessert table, Lily's trying to shake off the sting of Ethan's abrupt exit, but her mind keeps replaying the way he looked at her, like she was the only person in the room. She's so lost in thought that she doesn't notice Sarah until she's right beside her, her voice low and laced with something that sounds like a warning. You don't know him, Lily, Sarah says, her eyes searching Lily's face for a reaction. Lily blinks, caught off guard, her heart tripping over itself. She's known Sarah since they were kids, but there's something different about her tonight. Something guarded, almost protective. Sarah's words aren't just a caution. They're a clue, a hint that she knows more about Ethan than she's letting on. And here's where another layer of the mystery unfolds. Sarah's not just worried about Lily getting hurt. She's worried about what Ethan might do if he gets too close to Lily, because Lily, without even realizing it, is connected to the secret in a way she doesn't yet understand. It's not just about her smile or her quiet strength. It's about something in her past, something tied to the library where she works, something she mentioned in passing to Emily months ago that set this whole chain of events in motion. What is it? I'm not going to spill it yet, but let's just say it's a detail that's going to make you rethink everything you thought you knew about Lily's role in this story. Sarah's trying to protect her, but she's also protecting herself, because if the truth comes out, it could ruin more than just the wedding. It could destroy friendships, families, and the fragile trust holding this small town together. The air in the venue feels thicker now, the music a little too loud, the laughter a little too forced. The bride, Emily, is still twirling on the dance floor, oblivious to the undercurrents swirling around her, but even she's starting to sense something's off. She catches Caleb's eye from across the room, and for a moment, their smiles don't quite reach their eyes. There's a history here, a crack in their perfect love story that nobody's talking about, and it's tied to Claire, the woman in the shadows, and to the secret Ethan's been carrying. As Ethan steps outside to confront Claire, his heart pounding, he knows this moment could change everything. Not just for him, but for Lily, Caleb, Emily, and even Sarah. Claire's presence is a wild card, a spark that could ignite the truth he's been trying to bury. And Lily, still standing by the dessert table, feels a shift in the air, like the calm before a storm. Sarah's warning is ringing in her ears, but so is the memory of Ethan's gaze, and she's torn between stepping back or chasing the spark she felt. You're probably feeling that same pull, that mix of excitement and dread, because this story is racing toward a climax that's going to leave you speechless. What does Claire want? How is Lily connected to the secret? And what happens when Ethan finally gets the chance to tell Lily the truth, or decides to keep it hidden? I'm not going to give you the answers yet, because this is the part where you lean in, hit that like button and keep watching. The next moment is going to flip this story on its head, and trust me, you're not ready for what's coming. The night air outside the venue is thick with the scent of jasmine and the distant hum of cicadas, but for Ethan, standing face to face with Claire under the shadow of the sprawling oak trees, it feels like the world has narrowed to just the two of them and the secret that's been festering for months. Claire's eyes are sharp, her lips pressed into a thin line, and there's a weight to her presence that makes Ethan's stomach twist. She's not here to celebrate. She's here to confront, and Ethan knows exactly why. Inside, the wedding reception carries on, the music swelling as Emily and Caleb sway on the dance floor, oblivious to the storm brewing just beyond the fairy-lit glow. Lily, still reeling from Sarah's cryptic warning, feels a pull she can't explain, her gaze drifting toward the open doors where Ethan disappeared. Sarah's standing nearby, her phone now silent, but her eyes are locked on Lily, as if she's waiting for her to make a move. You're probably feeling that same electric tension, your heart pounding as you try to piece together the puzzle. Claire's sudden appearance, Sarah's warnings, Ethan's secret, and how Lily, the overlooked bridesmaid, fits into it all. I'm right there with you, my friend, because this is the moment where everything collides, where the truths we've been chasing come crashing into the light. This is the climax you've been waiting for, and I promise, it's going to be worth every second you've spent with me. So lean in, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's unravel this love story, this mystery, this heart-wrenching tale that's about to leave you speechless. Ethan's voice is low, almost a whisper, as he faces Claire. "Why are you here?" he asks, but he already knows the answer. Claire's no stranger. She's Caleb's ex, the one he dated before Emily, the one who left town 2 years ago after a messy breakup that nobody talks about. But what nobody knows except Ethan and Caleb is that Claire didn't just leave. She was pushed out, quietly, with a deal struck in the shadows. Months before the wedding, when Caleb proposed to Emily, Claire came back, claiming she had proof that Caleb wasn't who he seemed. Ethan, ever the loyal brother, stepped in to protect Caleb's future, convincing Claire to leave with a promise, a financial payout, a fresh start, and silence. That was Ethan's secret, the weight he's been carrying. The choice that's been eating him alive. He thought it was over, buried, but Claire's standing here now, her eyes blazing, because she's found something. Something tied to Lily of all people. "You thought you could erase me," Claire says, her voice steady but sharp. "But you didn't know about the letter, did you?" Ethan's heart stops. A letter? He doesn't know what she's talking about, but the mention of it sends a jolt through him, because he's starting to realize that Lily's connection to this mess isn't a coincidence. Inside, Lily's finally had enough of standing still. Sarah's warning, "You don't know him," echoes in her mind, but so does the memory of Ethan's gaze, the way it made her feel like she was more than just the dependable friend. She sets down her glass and starts moving toward the doors, determined to find Ethan, to understand why he looked at her like she was the answer to a question he hadn't asked. You're probably feeling that rush, that need to know what happens when Lily steps into this storm, and trust me, it's about to get wild. Back inside, Sarah's fingers twitch, her instinct to follow Lily warring with her fear of what's about to unfold. Sarah's secret, the one she's been guarding through those frantic texts, is tied to that same letter Claire mentioned. Months ago, while helping Emily sort through old books donated to the library where Lily works, Sarah found something. A letter tucked inside a worn copy of Pride and Prejudice, addressed to Emily but never delivered. It was from Claire, written just before she left town, detailing Caleb's lies, not just about their breakup, but about a deal he'd made that could ruin his family's reputation. Sarah kept it hidden, unsure what to do, but she told her mystery contact, her older brother, a lawyer who's been digging into Caleb's past ever since. That's who she's been texting all night, and now with Claire here, Sarah knows the truth is about to explode. She tries to stop Lily, grabbing her arm just as she reaches the doors. "Lily, wait. You don't understand what's happening," Sarah pleads, but Lily's done waiting. "Then tell me," she says, her voice firm for the first time all night. Sarah hesitates, her eyes darting to the crowd, to Emily laughing on the dance floor, to the groomsmen whispering in the corner. "It's about Caleb," Sarah finally says, her voice barely audible. "And it's about you." Lily's breath catches. Her. How could she be tied to this? But before Sarah can explain, the music cuts off abruptly, and a hush falls over the room. Caleb standing at the microphone, his face pale, Emily at his side, looking confused. Ethan steps back inside, Claire at his heels, and the air feels like it's crackling with electricity. You're probably on the edge of your seat, your mind racing with questions. What's in the letter? How is Lily involved? And what's Caleb about to say? Caleb clears his throat, his voice shaky as he grips the microphone. Everyone, I need to say something. The crowd quiets, all eyes on him, and Emily's smile fades as she senses the shift. Ethan's frozen at the edge of the room, Claire beside him, her expression unreadable. Lily, standing just inside the doors, feels Sarah's hand still on her arm, but her eyes are locked on Ethan, searching for answers. Caleb's voice cracks as he continues. Before we go any further, there's something I need to be honest about. Something I should have said a long time ago. He glances at Emily, then at Ethan, and finally at Claire, who steps forward, the letter now visible in her hand. It's the moment everything unravels. The letter, Claire reveals, was her last attempt to tell Emily the truth, that Caleb had been involved in a shady business deal, one that hurt people in their small town, one that Ethan helped cover up to protect his brother. But here's where Lily comes in. The letter was found in a book she'd catalogued at the library, a book she'd unknowingly handed to Sarah, sparking this whole chain of events. Lily's not just a bystander. She's the one who, without realizing it, brought the truth to light. Caleb's confession spills out, his voice breaking as he admits to the deal, to the lies, to the pain he caused Claire and others. Emily's hand flies to her mouth, tears welling, but she doesn't walk away. She stands there, grappling with the man she loves and the truth she's hearing. Ethan steps forward, his own guilt pouring out. I thought I was protecting him, he says, his eyes finding Lily's. But I was wrong. And I'm sorry. The room is silent, the weight of their words sinking in, and Lily feels like the ground is shifting beneath her. She's not just the overlooked bridesmaid anymore. She's the key to this truth, the one whose quiet actions set everything in motion. But just when you think the story's wrapping up, here's the final twist that'll leave your jaw on the floor. As Caleb finishes, Claire steps forward, her voice steady. There's one more thing, she says, holding up the letter. It's not just about Caleb. It's about Lily. The crowd gasps, and Lily's heart stops. Claire reveals that the book where the letter was found wasn't just any donation. It was from Lily's father, who passed away years ago. He'd been part of the same deal Caleb was involved in, a silent partner whose name was never mentioned until now. Lily's world spins. She had no idea, no clue that her father's past was tied to this mess, that her quiet life at the library had brought her into the heart of this scandal. Ethan, seeing the shock on her face, crosses the room to her, his earlier hesitation gone. I didn't know, he says, his voice raw. But when I saw you tonight, I felt like you were the one person I could trust. I still do. Lily's torn, angry, heartbroken, but also drawn to Ethan's honesty, to the way he's looking at her now, like she's his anchor. The wedding guests are whispering, Emily's holding Caleb's hand, and Sarah's finally stepping back, her own guilt easing as the truth comes out. The resolution isn't tidy. There's pain, forgiveness to be earned, and relationships to rebuild. But for Lily, it's a beginning. She's no longer just the overlooked bridesmaid. She's a woman stepping into her own story, ready to face the truths about her past and the possibilities of her future. As the music starts again, softer now, Lily and Ethan stand together, their hands brushing, a quiet promise forming between them. The wedding isn't what anyone expected, but it's real, raw, and unforgettable. And you, watching this, you're probably feeling that mix of awe and warmth, that sense that love and truth can survive even the messiest storms. The takeaway? Sometimes the moments that change us aren't the ones we plan. They're the ones that catch us off guard, that force us to see ourselves and each other clearly. So, what do you think? Did Lily and Ethan find their way? Will Emily and Caleb make it through? And what about Claire? Hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and let's keep this story going. Because this isn't just a tale of a wedding. It's a reminder that we're all stars in our own stories, waiting for someone to notice our smile.